Coming to paperback and e-readers, from the author of the critically acclaimed book The Man Crisis comes The Woman Crisis. Learn why so many women are becoming lost in their quest to have it all in The Woman Crisis. Pre-order your copy of The Woman Crisis on Amazon.com today. One of my viewers wanted to know how to deal with social anxiety as a young man. Now, I have been dealing myself with social anxiety ever since I was 12 years old. And after almost 30 years of dealing with social anxiety, I understand that the root cause of social anxiety is fear. And the fear that creates social anxiety usually is due to a traumatic experience that a young boy has when he tries to first start socializing. Now, I myself became a socially anxious person after having several negative experiences back in elementary school and junior high school. And as I was trying to learn how to socialize with other people, I ran into bullies who got upset because I didn't have a girlfriend at 12 years old, and these individuals would look to put hands on me, and they would also look to make personal attacks as related to my sexuality and even my own masculinity. And as a result of these physical and personal attacks, this is what made me very anxious about being social with other people, and other people run into this same anxiety because they have had traumatic experiences with sometimes with people who are very hostile when they're first trying to go out here and socialize, people who don't understand that a person who is introverted and socially anxious, they're not going to understand how to participate in social cues like eye contact, and these people will get very angry when you don't make eye contact with them. And all of these harsh criticisms, these don't encourage an individual to become more social. What they do is lead to a person becoming more socially anxious. And the root cause, again, of that social anxiety is fear of being criticized, fear of being judged, fear of being physically attacked in some cases just for trying to go out here and be social. And it's that fear that leads to many people winding up being filled with social anxiety and looking to avoid social situations because they fear being criticized, attacked, and just castigated just for trying to make connections with people. However, a person has to go out here and make connections with other people if they hope to go out here and accomplish things like get a job or build a business or build personal connections with other people, like if they want to have a relationship with another person romantically. So a person who is socially anxious and doesn't deal with their social anxiety can wind up with their lives being held back because they are just afraid to go out here and interact with other people. So you have to learn how to deal with your social anxiety at an early age, and you have to find a way to get some support as related to it. Now, when I was writing my novel Spellbound, and I was writing about the Matilda Crowley character, I was writing about how to deal with social anxiety, and one of the things that I wrote as related to that character was finding your voice. And a person who is socially anxious, one of the things that they have to do is find their voice, because the only person who can speak for you is you. And you have to find your voice, and you have to, because if no one else is going to speak for you, because when others speak for you, they're going to have power over you. And the only way you can take power is finding your voice, and you find your voice by facing your fear. This is something I put in the books of the Spinsterella trilogy with the Matilda Crowley character, who was struggling with shyness and social anxiety. And you have to find your voice, you have to face your fear, and you have to face the fears as related to being criticized, as related to being rejected, as related to people even going out here and putting their hands on you. You have to overcome those fears, because if you don't overcome your fears as related to anxiety, your anxiety will take you over and you'll never be able to accomplish anything in this life. This is why it is very important for you to understand to find your voice and face your fear, because when you face your fear of anxiety, you will find that that fear will go away and you'll be able to try to navigate a life in this world. Now, it's not an easy thing to face that fear. It's something I struggle with every day, and it's something that you have to do if you want to do anything in this life, and you have to overcome that fear by just going out here and doing what you want to do. I mean, when it came to YouTube, I had a lot of anxiety and social anxiety, again, about coming on this platform and making videos, but I wanted to increase the sales of my books. I wanted to reach a larger audience, so I started to face that fear, and as I faced that fear, I rediscovered my voice that I had lost way back in the mid 80s when I went to junior high school. I mean, it took me over 30 years to get my voice back, but I finally have my voice back. And you have to face that fear and go out here and face that fear and start talking for yourself, because the only way people can hear what you want is if you speak for yourself. So facing your social anxiety, you have to find a goal. Another thing you need to do is find a goal for what you want to do in life. Find a goal, what you want to accomplish in life, and that will be the thing that propels you to move your life forward. And as you're moving your life forward, you're going to find that those fears that you had are not going to be the thing that you focus on. You're going to focus on the things you want to do, and that's going to help you overcome your anxiety. And as you overcome your anxiety, you're going to build more confidence. And as you build more confidence, you won't feel afraid of other people, and you won't be concerned about what they think, what they're saying about you. And even if they try to put hands on you, you will have the confidence to defend yourself. Now, I still struggle with social anxiety, and I still struggle with anxiety in general, but I try not to let it prevent me from living my life or saying what needs to be said. Now, just recently, one of my viewers put my anxiety to the test when they asked me to go out here and make a video talking about the dating coaches SYSBM and Passport Bros and Travel Bros, and I was afraid to make that video because of the ordeal that these individuals put me through in 2019 as related to the whole narrative of passports. But I wanted to face that fear because I wanted to show respect for the viewer who went out here and took their time to drop a Cash App to request a video, like the individual here who requested a video. And I wanted to go out here and make that video out of respect for that longtime viewer, and I had to face my fear. And the whole thing was, even after I made the video, I still had some anxieties as related to these individuals, and I had to go out here and navigate through my emotions as related to that anxiety. Now, navigating through your emotions as related to anxiety means, yes, you have these feelings of fear, but you're not going to let those feelings dictate your actions. And that's another part of dealing with social anxiety, is you're going to have to learn how to navigate through your emotions as this fear is coming on you. And as that fear is coming on you, you're not going to act in a way that is going to make you fearful. No, you're going to act in a way that shows courage. So every time you act in a courageous way, you're going to build your confidence. And even if things don't work out, you still went out here and made an effort to go out here and do something for yourself. Now, I understand how much of a struggle it is for a socially anxious person out here, because sometimes people just think, oh, you can just go out here and ask for something. But when you're socially anxious, sometimes it may take you 2 or 3 days or 2 or 3 weeks to go out here and think about how you're going to approach things. But sometimes the best way to understand is that that person is trying to figure out how they're going to say what they're going to say, because they're still struggling with the fear of rejection or the fear of a negative response. And that is one of the things that holds back a lot of socially anxious people, is you're afraid of that negative response, but you've got to start building up a thicker skin, because the only way to deal with negative responses is to just accept, okay, this person said no, this person had a different opinion, this person may not even like you, but you have to accept whatever they say, and you have to move on. You can't take everything personally, because people are very different out here, and the whole thing is, as you learn how to accept things as related to people that you have no control over them, you just move on. And again, the socially anxious person, they're afraid of a negative response from people, but negative responses are a way of life, and you have to accept those negative responses from people, and you have to accept that this is sometimes things just don't work out. But it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you, and it doesn't mean you just have to give up on life. It just means that you have to go out here and try again with somebody else, or try a different approach with different people. So social anxiety, it can keep you from living your life, but the whole thing is you can't let those fears keep you from living the abundant life God wants you to live, because God has a lot out here for you. But you have to face your fears, and you have to go out here and go out and step out on faith, so that you can go out here and receive whatever God has for you. But again, when you're socially anxious, you're afraid to take those steps, but you have to take those steps if you want to go out here and accomplish anything, because if you don't start taking the steps, you're not going to ever get anywhere. And the whole thing is, most socially anxious people, again, we're just afraid of having to deal with hostile people, rude people, crazy people, and that's what discourages us from going out here and socializing. But we have to understand that these people are the exception and not the rule, and we can't let these people have power over us. So when you're socially anxious, you have to understand you can't let other people get power over you, and you can't let them have control. No, you have to go out here and understand that you can't let your fear run you. You have to have control over your fear, and you have to have such control over your fear that you don't let other people dictate how you're going to live and how you're going to go out here and do things. So the social anxiety has been something I have been dealing with for years, and every time I go out here, I'm always looking to try to overcome that anxiety, and I'm always thinking about what I want to accomplish, and that is the thing that drives me to go out here and contact people like comic book artists, contact people like publishers, and try to make connections with people, because even if they say no, I'm still moving myself ahead. I'm still working towards my goals, and the whole thing is I'm moving myself forward, and I'm not letting my fear run me. I'm running my life, and that's what the socially anxious person has to do. They have to realize if they want to run their life, they can't let their fear run them. Now, I'm hoping that this video helps the viewer who requested it, and if you want to request a video, you can drop a Cash App for $15 or more and to the link in the description box. And if you want to pick up some of my men's issues books to learn how to deal with issues as related to social situations, like you can pick up my books, Stop Simping, Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, Stop Simping in the Workplace, Stop Simping in Cyberspace, and The Man Crisis on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find all these books on Smashwords, the iBook Store, and Google Play. And that's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose. The man who rules the world runs into the irresistible force of a man with nothing to lose in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. the regular and variant editions of John Haynes' The Man Called Rules on Amazon.com today.